so next we're going to check if they've entered a valid date. Okay, first thing we want to do is get our data from the form. So this is going to be called date input, and the field name is booking_date. Let's change the comment, so get date of booking from form. We also need to declare a few other variables for this. So we need to create a new date object so we can validate it. So equals new date from the input we're given. We need a day of the week because the branches are closed on different days, so we don't want to accept a booking when the branch is closed. So we're going to call that day of week equals date dot get day. It's not right, so it should be an equals. There we go. Okay, so let's put some comments in. So this creates a new date object, and this assigns a numerical value to each day. So for example, Sunday is 0, Monday is 1, Tuesday is 2, etc. We need to get today's date because also we need to check that their booking is not in the past, because obviously they can't time travel. So today will be a new date object. So that's get today's date, and we'll need to set this to midnight for comparison, because some people might want to book things at strange hours in the morning. So I'm going to set to midnight for comparison. There we go. Okay, the first check we want to do is checking if the date field is empty. Okay, so like we've done there, so just copy and paste that. Check if date field empty. Okay, so we've got that. So date input, because that is the raw data from the form. So I'm going to say date is required. So first of all, let's check that. Let's try submitting the form without putting anything in the date and see if that bit works. Okay, there we go. So we're going to fill in our form. We've got a first name, we've got a last name, we've got a valid phone number, and we're going to leave date blank and press book now. Okay, so we get our error message say date is required. So that check works. Okay, next we're going to check if date is in the past. We don't want users putting in a date that's in the past, so we're going to use if date is less than today. Then obviously it's in the past. Let's keep that consistent. Okay, so alert. Let's have a new message. So date cannot be in the past. And we want to return false again to stop the form from being submitted. So let's try now and put a date in that's been and gone. Okay, so date in the past, and we'll see if that works. Okay, so make sure you save the file and then refresh the page. And we're going to input some valid data. So we've got first name, we've got last name, and we've got a valid phone number in there. So now we're going to check the date. So if we put in a date that's in the past, we click book now, and we get the error message that says date cannot be in the past. Okay, so next we're going to add some location-based restrictions. Okay, so to do this, we need to get the location from the form. So document, we're going to use getElement for this, getElement by ID, which is location. And we want the value of it. Okay, so get chosen location. Now what we want to do is we want to say that if location is Harrogate, and the day of the week, so the date they selected, if the day of the week happens to be a Sunday, then according to our opening times on the website, Harrogate is actually shut on Sunday. So we're going to say alert, our Harrogate branch is closed on Sundays. Okay, and return false. Okay, so let's save that and see if it works. Okay, so we've just refreshed the page and we've put in a valid first name, last name and a valid phone number, and now we are going to make sure the Harrogate branch is selected, which is by default, and we're going to put in a date on a Sunday. So let's pick a Sunday in the future some point, and if we press book now, we should get the error message. There we go. So the Harrogate branch is closed on Sunday. We can also check if we can do Harrogate on a Monday, and that lets us book that day. So that check now works. Okay, so we can do the same for Leeds. So that day will be 2 because according to our times, Leeds is closed on Tuesdays. And then the same for Knaresborough. Make sure we spell that right. Their day of the week is 1 because they are closed on Mondays. Okay, just make that all make sense. So that one's Leeds, and that one's going to be Knaresborough Castle. There we go. Okay, so we can now save that and we can check both of those work. Okay, so let's try and book Leeds on a Tuesday. So I'm going to select a date on Tuesday. Okay, we've got a valid first name, last name and phone number in there, and if we press book now, we should get the error message again to say that Leeds is closed on a Tuesday. Okay, let's try Knaresborough Castle. They're closed on a Monday, so let's select the date on a Monday, and we should get the same message again. There we go. Okay, let's give them the valid date, and it should let us book that. This JavaScript code will check for a valid time. So the first thing we need to do is to get the booking time from the form. We're going to store that in a constant which is called time import. The first check we're going to do is check if this time input field is empty, and if it is, then we just need to display alert to say that time must be entered. We're going to return false to make sure the form cannot be submitted. Now we need to test that to make sure it works. So we need to fill in all the other fields, and we're not going to pick a time. Let's press book now, and then we'll get the error message to say that time must be entered. Now, if a time has been entered, then we want to validate that. So we need to split the input into parts. So we've got the hours part, the minutes part, and then the period, whether it's AM or PM, so morning or afternoon. So we're putting a return false statement here just so that the form doesn't submit, just while we're testing it. Now we're going to add a little if-else block, which will get the time period from the string, whether it's AM or PM. So there's a slight problem with this because we've already sliced the string on index 4. Now in a time with a single digit, okay, so like 9 AM for example, index 4 it will actually be A or P. However, in a time with double digits, such as 10 AM, then string 4 actually comes up with 0 or 3 for the half past the hour. So this little bit of code will just organise that to make sure that if it says PM at all in the string, then it's afternoon. If it says AM at all in the string, then it's AM. The next task is to convert our PM, our afternoon time, into 24-hour clock. Because currently the input is in 12 hours and we need it to be 24 just for our validation. We're going to do if hours is not equal to 12 because we don't want to change 12 o'clock midday, but we want to change everything after that. Now we want to check if the time is between our opening time and closing time. At the moment, all the branches are open between 10 AM and 8 PM, but the last time we want to be able to book a table is 1 hour before the closing time, so that'll be 7 PM or 1900 hours. These lines of code are just going to put our error message together. Okay, so if they're trying to book a time outside of our opening and closing hours, then we want to tell them that bookings can only be made between our opening and closing time. So at the moment, that's just 10 AM and 7 PM. And there's a little bit of code in there to convert the close time back to 12 hours, so it says 7 PM. And the way we're doing this is we can also change the code later. So for example, if the opening times change for one branch, then we can easily update that. Now we need to test this. The error message should be displayed for any invalid opening time, so anything that is outside of those opening hours. Okay, so from 1 a.m. till 9:30 a.m. It should display the message, and then from 8 p.m. To midnight, it should display that as well. There's a couple that don't work on here at the moment, so midnight won't work and 7:30 won't work, and we're going to go and fix that next. To make sure no one can book a table at midnight, we're going to add this clause to our if statement. So if hours is 12 and the time period is AM, okay, so 12 AM midnight, then that is going to be classed as an invalid time. And to make sure nobody can book a table at 7:30, we're going to add another clause that says if hours is 19, 7 o'clock, and minutes is 30, so that'll be 7:30, then also display the error message. Now we just need to test all that, so test a range of times. For the valid times at the moment, the form won't do anything. We're going to fix that next. We'll just check that all the invalid times work and they don't let you actually book anything for that. Finally, remove that return false at the very end, and that'll mean that we can now submit our information to the database.